When it comes to digital, one of the things that maybe should be done as a base level understanding of what risks are there in the population could be that when we are collecting data, whether it is for a census or for anything else, why can't we take a family history of our population? I think that will sort of give a fairly nice idea of where we have certain risks, and then make sure that we can actually communicate to those people at risk about early symptoms and things like that, so that they are aware of that. So I think the use of apps, whether it's the Prime Minister's app or whether it is any other thing, could be used for actually telling the end customers about or our citizens about the value of what you can do with understanding of symptoms and how do you get to an early preventive test and so on. The other thing that you can do with digital could also be that, other than communicating, I think can also be the fact that you can now have many things that you can do by sitting at home. And for instance, whether it is getting a DNA test, whether it's getting a blood test, whether it's actually getting the entire process, I think that's another thing that a lot of patients are not aware of. And I think that communication of these things happening, because a lot of people might probably not be mobile enough to be able to go. That could be another thing. And the third could be that, when we look at teleconsulting and a lot of matters when we do, for instance, when we are telling people about the early risks, when you look at it from a genomic perspective, I think many times the first time when our genetic counselors or our doctors are talking to these patients is the first time they've actually spoken to somebody about in detail about their health. And I think a lot of times what happens is, and I go back to when I was a child, I remember, for instance, when I couldn't see the blackboard, I didn't bother about it. Until at some point I was forced to know about it, right? So I think it's the same thing with a lot of diseases, especially cancer, because it's sort of hidden and you don't know until someone tells you about it. So I think that counseling, that creating of that network is an extremely important.